Hello guys, how are you today? So today I'll be explaining the IGCSE or the Algebra IGCSE course question. So this is going to be video part 3, okay? I'm just going to go to the first question. This is all recommended from the in the finance sheet. So if you check the finance sheet, these are all the recommended questions. So we have questions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. So I feel they're going to take around an hour, hopefully not longer. So let us just start without the extra talking. The price of a mobile phone decreased from $500 to $450 in 1 year. What is the percentage decrease in price? Always remember, when I ask you for the percentage decrease in price, you're going to do old minus, new minus old. So new minus old over old times 100. So 45 or 450 minus 500 over 500 times 100. So put it on your calculator. 450 minus 500 over 500 times 100. You will get an answer which is minus 10%. But they told us the percentage of the decrease, okay? The percentage of the decrease in price. So minus 10% means that it is already decreasing. However, since they need the percentage decrease, you're only going to put it as 10%. And that is it for part A. We move on to part B. In part B, they said, Rami invested $7,000 in an account that pays compound interest at a rate of 3% per year. What is the value of his investment after 5 years? So, after 5 years, what happens? Because we're dealing with a compound interest, we have to apply the equation original times 1 plus the percentage to the power of what? To the power of years. So the original, which we know it is $7,000, times 1 plus the percentage, which is 3%, to the power of the number of years, which is 5. So you can put it on your calculator, 7,000 times 1 plus 3%, okay, to the power of 5. And you're going to get it approximately, if it is rounded, because they needed what? They didn't say what they needed, but if you are gonna round it, you will round it. It will be $8,115. Okay, so that is it for part B. We move on to part C. In part C, they said the price of an item increased by 20% to become $300. What is the price of this item before the increase? So they told us what? They told us an item of X amount of dollars, okay? It was multiplied to 1 plus 20%, okay? So X amount, initial amount of dollars, times 1 plus 20% is going to give us what? The final value, which is $300. So X dollars is going to be equal to what? To 300 over 1 plus 20%. So you will put it on your calculator and you will get that X dollars is equal to $250. So that is it for question number 2. We move on to question number 3. Consider the curve C with this equation over here. What is the value of B if 10B is a point on the tangent, okay, at X is equal to minus 2? So we know already that they gave us the value of X. And they want us to find the value of what? The value of B. They told us, hint, find the equation of the tangent to C. First of all, to find the equation of the tangent to C, we have to follow this rule, AX plus B or MX plus B, however you want to say it. A or M is the slope. So to find the slope from an equation, we have to take its derivative. Derivative is dy over dx, okay? So if you take the derivative of this one, it's going to be 3x squared plus 8x, okay? And now, since they gave us that x is gonna be minus 2, you can very simply substitute x by minus 2. So 3 times minus 2 squared plus 8 times minus 2. And then you will get that the slope is what? Minus 4. So it's minus 4x plus b. But you have to pay attention. The b that they want is not the same as this b. The value of b that they want, it is what? It is the value of y. Because we know ax plus b is equal to y, mx plus b is equal to y. So minus 4x plus b is going to be equal to y. So how do we find the value of y? So again, to find the value of y, you're going to take the value x is equal to minus 2, and you're going to substitute it in the original equation. So if you substitute it in the original equation, it's going to be minus 2 to the power of 3 plus 4 times minus 2 squared plus 10. And you're going to get that the value of y is equal to 18. So now minus 4x plus b is equal to 18. We know that x is minus 2, so minus 4 times minus 2 plus b is equal to 18. So you bring this to the other side, you will get that b is equal to what? B is going to be equal to 10. But this is not the b they want. They want the b as in y. So to find the value of b in y, very simply, we're going to use the equation minus 4x plus 10 is equal to y. Okay? Then it's going to be minus 4 times the x, which is 10, plus 10 is going to be equal to y. So the value of y is going to be minus 4 times 10 plus 10, which is then minus 30. So the value of y is what? The value of y is minus 30. And this is the value of b they were looking for. So very simply, the value of y is minus 30, which is b. So we finish number 3, we move on to number 4. In number 4, they said, determine the nature of the stationary points of the curve C whose equation is this. Okay, in order to be able to do this, okay, we will need to first draw what? We will need to first draw the table of variation, okay? What is the table of variation? You're just going to have 3 rows. You're going to have a row of x, a row of the derivative, which is dy over dx, and the row of y. And then you're going to have, let's say, a line or 2 or 3. It will depend on what we get from over here. So very simply, what we're going to do is we're first going to find the derivative. When you find the derivative, you're going to have 4x to the power of 3, okay, minus 12x. Okay, after this, we will need to find the roots. So 4x to the power of 3 minus 12x is equal to 0. So after finding the roots, so you can find the roots in whichever way you want. You're going to get that x is equal to radical 3, or x is equal to minus radical 3, or x is equal to 0. So you will need how many lines? You will need 1, 2, and 3 lines. Just like 1, 2, and 3. Okay? 0 is going to be in the middle. The positive side, you'll have radical 3. The negative side, you'll have negative radical 3. And here it's 2 minus infinity. Oh my goodness, I don't know how to write infinity. Here it's also 2 minus infinity. Sorry, here no, it's 2 plus infinity because we're moving in the positive side. Now basically, because these are the roots in the derivative, they're going to give you an answer of 0. So here you're going to put the zeros. Now what we're going to do is very important. We're going to choose a value less than negative 3. So in between minus radical 3 and minus infinity. For example, let us take minus radical 5. Okay, it's a number less than minus radical 3. And you will substitute it in the derivative. Okay, so if you were to substitute it in the derivative, it would be 4 minus radical 5. So 4 times minus radical 5 squared. Okay. Or sorry, not squared, cubed. So 4 times minus radical 5 cubed minus 12 times what? Times minus radical 5. Okay, you put it on your calculator, you're gonna get minus 8 radical 5. So this is a negative answer. It's going down. Now choose a number in between radical 3 and 0. Very simply, you could take radical in between minus radical 3 and 0. So very simply, you could take minus radical 2. So 4 times minus radical 2 to the power of 3 minus 12 times what? Times minus radical 2. Put it on your calculator. You are going to get 4 radical 2, which is a positive answer, so it is going up. Okay? Now, if you choose a number between 0 and radical 3, for example, radical 2, it's going to be 4 times radical 2 to the power of 3. Okay? 4 times radical 2 to the power of 3 minus 12 times what? Times radical 2. You put it, it's going to give you a negative answer, so this will be going down. And then finally, for the last one, choose a number between radical 3 and plus infinity. So let us say you chose radical 5. So then it would be 4 times radical 5 to the power of 3 minus 12 times radical 5. And you will get what? You will get a positive answer, so this one is going up. Now, usually over here, what we would put is we would take these values, so minus radical 3, 0, and radical 3, and we would substitute them in this equation. For example, if you put minus radical 3 to the power of 4 minus 6 times minus radical 3 to the power of 2 plus 2, you will get an answer of minus 7. So over here, you will put minus 7. Same goes for 0. If you put 0 instead of the minus radical 3, what will you get? So if you put 0 instead, you're going to get 2. However, if you put radical 3 instead of minus radical 3, what answer would you get? You would get an answer of also minus 7. So very simply, this is it for question number 4. But before we proceed, okay, they told us to determine the nature of these stationary points. So over here, this is a stationary point, another stationary point, and another stationary point. As you can see, this is descending, so we will call this a local minimum. As you can see, this is rising, so we call this a local maximum. As you can see over here, this is also descending, so we will call this what? A local minimum. So very simply, this is it for question number 4. So we finished question number 4. We move on to question number 5. In question number 5, they said, the distance time graph below shows the journey of a train. Find the average speed of the train in kilometer per hour between what? Between 8 and 8:30. So very simply, to be able to do that, look what we are going to do. We're going to take the average speed from between 8 and 8:30, so the distance between here and here, which is 60 kilometers. And then we will take the distance from 8 until 8:30, so this is going to be 30 minutes, but they need it in what? They need it in kilometers per hour. So we're not going to take it from in minutes, we're going to take it in hours. 30 minutes into hours, you're going to divide by 60 and you're going to get 0.5 hours. So it is going to be the distance, which is 60 kilometer, over the time, which is 0.5 hours. So it is 120 kilometer per hour. That is it for part A. For part B, we move on. What do they need in part B? They said find the average speed of the train in kilometer per hour for the whole journey. To do that, you're just going to take the final point and the initial point. Final point and initial point, the difference in distance, or like y minus y, it's going to be 240 kilometer. And then the difference in time, it's going to be 2 hours, which is 120 minutes. So remember, to change from hours to minutes, 120. So 120 minutes plus what? Plus an extra 5 minutes. So from 10 till 8, this is 120 minutes, plus another 5 minutes. So it's going to be in total 125 minutes. Now, of course, we cannot deal with minutes, so we will need to divide by 60. So keep it as 125 over 60. So very simply, to find the average speed of the train, we're going to take the distance, which is 240 kilometers, over what? Over 125 minutes over 60 minutes. So put it on your calculator. So 240 over what? Over 125 over 60, and you will get an answer which is 115.2 kilometer per hour. Okay, so that is it for CQD number 5. We move on to CQD number 6. A train started from rest at 7 o'clock. The train accelerated for 10 minutes to reach a speed of v kilometers per hour. The train maintained the speed for 30 minutes and decelerated for 10 minutes to reach a speed of 0 kilometers per hour. The distance traveled during the entire 50-minute period is 90 kilometers. The speed time graph below displays the trip graphically. Okay, so they want us to find the value of v. Very simply, to find the value of v, which is the height. Okay, and we're given what? First of all, we're given the times the height, we need to find it, but we're also given what? We're given the distance, then we can find the value of v. We know that the distance in a speed time graph, it is what? It is the area. So area is equal to distance. If the distance is 90 kilometer, 90 kilometer is going to be equal to what? It's going to be equal to base 1, which is 50 minutes, but we are supposed to deal with it in what? In hours, because the speed is in kilometer per hour. So base 1, which is 50 over 60, plus base 2, which is 40 minus 10, which is 30, plus 30 over 60 times the height v over 2. Okay? Bring 2 to the other side. You're going to have 180 kilometers is equal to 50 over 60 plus 30 over 60. If you put it on your calculator, you're going to get it to be 80 over 60. So 80 over 60 times v. Okay? Now 180 kilometers divided by what? Divided by 80 over 60. Put it on your calculator and you'll get that v. It is what? It is 135 kilometer per hour. And that is the height v. Now they said in part B, compute the average acceleration of the train in meters per second squared during the first 10 minutes. So to find the average acceleration, we need the height. We found the height to be how much? To be 135 kilometer per hour. The average acceleration of the train in meters per second squared during the first 10 minutes. So from here till here, they need to find the acceleration. So we will find the slope. We're going to do y minus y over x minus x. So the difference, which is 135, minus what? Minus 10 minutes. So 10 minutes. We first, of course, need to change it into hour. Or my bad, actually, no. Just keep it as 10 minutes. So it's 135 per 10 minutes. 135 kilometer per hour and 10 minutes. Now we will need to change 135 kilometer per hour into meter per second. Okay? So to do that, we're going to do what? We're going to do 135 from kilometer per hour to meter per second. You're going to divide by 3.6. So divided by 3.6 over 10. 10 we need to change from minutes to seconds. So we're going to multiply by 60. So now it will become what? It will become 135 divided by 3.6 over what? Over 10 times 60. You will put it on your calculator and you will get that the acceleration, A, it is approximately what? It's approximately 0.0625 meter per second squared. And just like that, we finish question 5 and question 6. Now if you move on to question number 20. This is question number 20 over here. So question number 20 top says, consider two spinners A and B shown in the figure below, each with 5 marked sectors. Okay? Spinner A is spun once. Find the probability that the number shown is not number 5. So what? They need the probability in spinner A that you will not get 5. Probability not getting 5 is 1 minus the probability of getting 5. So 1 minus the probability of getting 5, which is what? 1, because you have 1 5 out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 minus 1 out of 5, which is how much? Which is then 4 out of 5. So very simply, spinner A is spun once. Find the probability that the number shown is not 5. It is going to be 4 out of 5. So that is it for part A. We move on to part B. They said spinner A is spun twice. That means you have 1 times 1 because it is spun twice. Okay? Keep this in mind. It's very important. They said find the probability that the number shown is number 2 both times. How many number 2s do you have? You have only one number 2. So the first time, the probability is 1 over 5. The second time, the probability is also 1 over 5 because you're not taking away anything. It's going to stay the same. It's going to stay constant. So 1 over 5, okay, times, because it's spun twice, 1 over 5. So it becomes 1 over 25. We move on to part B. In part B, they said spinner A is spun 50 times. Okay. Calculate an estimate of the number of times where the result is 1. Okay, spinner A is spun 50 times. So 50 times the probability that the result is going to be 1. The result that it will be 1, it is what? It is 1 out of the total, which is 5. So 50 times 1 over 5, this is going to be 10 times. So an estimate is that you're going to get about 10 times the value 1. We move on to part D. The spinners are spun once each and the sum of the numbers on both spinners is recorded. Complete the diagram below. Okay, so they're dealing with what? They're dealing with the sum of the numbers. That means it's going to be 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 3, whatever. Okay, so here they finished the first row for us. Let us continue the next. So here they did 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 again is going to be 3. Okay. Then 2 plus 2, it's going to be 4. 2 plus 2, it's also gonna be 4. 2 plus 3, it's gonna be 5. So for the second one, it is 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. Then 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 plus 1 is also 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. 3 plus 2 is also 5. And then 3 plus 3 is 6. So 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6. Okay? 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 1 is 5 again. 4 plus 2 is 6. 4 plus 2 is 6 again. And then 4 plus 3 is 7. So 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. And then the last one is done for us. So that is part D. Number 2, they said calculate the probability that the sum is greater than 6. Okay, so let us see. How much do we have in total? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the sums. You will not take these. These are just the numbers. So you will take only the sums. So 5 times 5, you have how many numbers in total? 25 numbers in total. So they need the probability of getting greater than 6. Getting greater than 6 means what? What's the biggest number? You have 8. So it means either getting 7 or 8 or 7 or 8. So let us calculate the probability of getting 7 or 8. You have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So getting 7 or 8 means for 7, how many do you have? You have 3. And 8, you have 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. So 4 out of the total, which is what? 25. So the probability of getting a sum greater than 6 is 4 out of 25. Okay, now part E. Amanda, me, okay, not me though, spins spinner B until she gets number 1. Calculate the probability that this happens on the third trial. Okay, so she will spin spinner B until she gets number 1. Let's go back to spinner B. To get number 1, the probability is how much? The probability is 2 over 5. This is to get. To not get 1, the probability is going to be 3 out of 5. Because 5 out of 5 minus 2 out of 5 is 3 out of 5. Okay? So, if Amanda, or me, if for example, I want to spin, okay, 3 times, and I want to get 1 on the third trial, what does it mean? This means I'm going to do it 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, okay? And the first one, I'm not gonna get 1. We said to get, the probability was 2 out of 5. To not get, the probability was 3 out of 5. So it's gonna be, the first one, I'm not gonna get, so it's 3 out of 5. The second one, I'm also not gonna get, it's gonna be also 3 out of 5. And then the final one, which is the third trial, I will get 1. And then that means I got 2 over 5. So multiply them all. It's going to be 3 times 3 times 2 over 5 times 5 times 5. So all in all, it's going to be what? It's going to be 18 over 125. So that is it for question number 20. We move on to question number 23. I think the rest are long. Okay, here we go. 23. Jason plans to wear 1 hat and 1 coat. He has one of the each following. The colors of his hats in the wardrobe, they are gray, black. And the color of his coats, they are blue, black, and brown. So they said in part A, draw a tree diagram to illustrate all the possible color combinations Jason could select. So let us see. If we did it like this, let us say that this Jason, okay, he has his hats over here. He can either select what? He can either select a gray hat or a black hat, okay? So Jason, he can either select a gray hat or a black hat. Now, if he selects the gray hat, he can choose what? He can choose the blue or the black or the brown coat. Same thing, if he chooses the black hat, he can choose the blue or the black or the brown coats, okay? Now, since these, they are something like symmetric, since they are proportional, that means he can either choose the gray hat or the black hat. That means half of the probability goes to gray and the other half goes to black. Same thing with the coat. Since they are proportional, that means a third of the probability goes to blue, another third goes to black, and another third goes to brown. The same thing over here. So that is it for part A. For part B, they said what? They said, calculate the probability that the hat and coat Jason selected are both black. What is the probability? Probability of him selecting black is what? The black hat is 1 over 2. Times probability of him selecting the black coat is going to be what? 1 over 3. Now guys, of course we have some keywords here. They said hat and coat. Whenever you see and, you do multiplication. Whenever you see or, okay, you're gonna do addition. Since they said and, you're gonna do multiplication. So 1 over 2 times what? Times the probability of him choosing the black hat, which is 1, the black coat, which is 1 over 3. And you will get an answer of 1 over 6. We move on to part 3. They said to part C, calculate the probability he will select the blue coat. So let me just draw it again. I know I lost it. So black, gray, blue, black, brown, blue, black, brown. Here we have what? Here we have 1 over 2, 1 over 2, 1 over 3, 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 and 1 over 3. So they want us to calculate what? Calculate the probability he will select the blue coat. They did not tell us what's coming before. So the probability of him selecting the blue coat. You can do this in 2 ways, but it's preferable to do it like this. You can say he can either choose the black coat, so he can either take black hat plus blue coat, or, let's not do plus, he can either take the black hat and the blue coat, or he could take what? He could take the gray hat and the blue coat. Okay, now let us see what happens. The black probability of getting black is 1 over 2. And in math means times, the blue probability is 1 over 3. Or in math means plus, okay? Gray, the probability of gray is 1 over 2. And in math means times, probability of blue is what? It is 1 over 3. So you multiply it. It is 1 over 2 times 1 over 3 plus 1 over 2 times 1 over 3. Okay, you put it on the calculator and you will get your answer, which is 1 over 3. You could do it like this, or directly you could know that the probability of him selecting the blue coat is gonna be the same, because why? They are proportional, okay? So then that means it's just gonna be 1 over 3. This is the probability of him selecting the blue coat. We move on to question number 24. So we finished 23. We move on to 24. They said in 24, the probability that the bus is late is 1 over 4. If the bus is late, the probability that Mr. Jason walks to his office is 4 over 7. If the bus is not late, okay, the probability that Mr. Jason walks to his office is 1 over 8. Complete the 3 diagrams. I'm just going to go like this, okay? So, let us complete the 3 diagram. The probability the bus is late is 1 over 4. Probability it is not late is 3 over 4. The probability if the bus is late that he walks is 4 over 7. That he doesn't walk, it is what? It is 3 out of 7. If the bus is not late that he walks is 1 out of 8. That he does not walk, it is 7 out of 8. out of 8. So, if we go to part B, they said calculate the probability that the bus will be late tomorrow and Mr. Jason doesn't walk to his office. The probability the bus is late is 1 over 4. And means times, okay? Times he does not walk to his office, which is 3 out of 7. So multiply them together. You will get an answer, which is what? Which is 3 over 28. Okay, we move on to part C. They said calculate the probability that Mr. Jason walks to his office. Now here, because they are not proportional, because they're not the same, we cannot do the same thing as above. So instead what we can do is we could do it like this. The probability that he walks to his office, we have either that the bus is late, so L is late, okay, late and he walks, or, okay, or not late and he walks. Okay, these are the 2 probabilities. If he is late, the probability, if the bus is late, the probability for that is what? It is 1 out of 4, and means times he walks is what? 4 out of 7. Or means plus, not late, the probability is 3 out of 4, and means times and walks is how much? 1 over 8. Okay, we put it on the calculator. 1 over 4 times 4 over 7 plus 3 over 4 times 1 over 8. So you put it on your calculator and you're gonna get an answer which is 53 over 224. That is it for question number 24. We move on to question number 25. In question number 25, Ya Allah. Okay. In question number 25, they said, the probability that a randomly selected student in Mrs. Brownie's class owns a dog is this much. If the student owns the dog, the probability also that he owns a cat is this much. Whatever. If the student doesn't own a dog, probability he owns a cat is this much. Complete the diagram. If he has a dog, the probability is 1/5. No dog, probability is 4/5. Okay? If he has a dog, probability he has a cat is how much? 1/2. No cat is 1/2. If he does not have a dog, okay, then the probability that the student owns a cat is 3/4. Does not own a cat is 1/4. Now, what is the probability that the student owns a dog? How much is the probability of owning a dog? 1/5. And means times probability of owning a cat. So you're going to take it from here. He owns a dog, and then he will also own a cat, which is 1/2. Put it on your calculator. You will get the probability is 1/10. Now they said in part I, find the probability that the student does not own a cat. He does not own a cat, yani he could either have a dog and no cat, or no dog and no cat. The probability of having a dog is how much? Probability of having a dog is 1/5, and means times no cat is 1/2, okay? Or means plus no dog, probability is 4/5, and means times no cat, the probability is 1/4. So we put it on the calculator. 1/5 times 1/2 plus 4/5 times 1/4, and you will get an answer which is how much? Which is 3/10. Now I know you cannot see the last question, but I'm just gonna say it because I don't want to lose this drawing. They said they want to know what the expected number of students who do not own a cat in a group of 30 students. So you have a group of 30 students, you need to find the expected number of students that do not own a cat. We know the probability for not owning a cat is 3/10. So 3/10 times what? Times the 30 students. You just multiply together, you will get a probability or number of 9 students. Okay, that was part II. So in part D, they said, what is the probability that the number of students who owns a dog is at least in a group of 5 students? Okay, so we know that the probability of owning a dog is 1/5. Probability of not owning a dog is 4/5. They said, what is the probability that the number of students who owns a dog is at least 1 in the group of 5 students? How do you find that? To find that, you're going to do 1 minus the probability of no dog. Because they said what? They said at least. Whenever they say at least, it's 1 minus the probability of the total opposite. So in this case, 1 minus the probability of no dogs being owned by the student. Okay, because they are a group of 5 students, that means it's going to be 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5. Okay, so it's going to be 1 minus this. The probability of not having a dog, 4/5 times 4/5 times 4/5 times 4/5 times 4/5. Anyways, you put this on your calculator and you're gonna get that the probability that at least 1 person has a dog is how much? It is 2101 over 3125. Okay, so that is it for part question number 25. We move on to question number 26. In question number 26, they said, the histogram shown below represents the frequencies of the scores of students on a science test. They said complete the table. So over here we have what? We have the frequency density, and we have what over here? Over here we have the width. So very simply, the frequency density is equal to what? The frequency over the width. So if you have the width and the frequency density, you'll be able to find the frequency. Okay, so for the second one, we're going to have a frequency of 30, but the width, as you can see from over here, it is from 30, so between 30 and 50. So it will look something like this. So the term looks something like this. Now let us continue the rest. The frequency density between 50 and 60 is 5, and the width is 10. So it's going to be 5 times 10, which is 50. For 60 and 70, the frequency density is 4. So it's going to be 4 times the width, which is 70 minus 60, which is 10, so 40. Between 80 and 70, we know that it is going to be 1. So it's gonna be 1 times the width, which is, so the frequency density is 1, times the width, which is 80 minus 70, which is then 10, so it's gonna be 10. And then finally, for between 80 and 90, we get it to be 1.5, so it's 1.5 times 10, which is then 15. Okay, that is it for part A. Now in part B, what did they say? Okay, in part B, they said calculate an estimate of the mean score of this class accurate to 1 decimal place. So to find the mean score of this class, what we will need to do is we will need to do the sum, this is sigma notation, sum of the frequencies times their values over the total frequency, so over the sum of the frequency. So over here, we're gonna do it all. To find the value of x, what we will need to do is we will need to find the mid-interval. To find the mid-interval, you're gonna do 30 plus 0 divided by 2. 30 plus 0 divided by 2 is how much? It's gonna be 15. Then 30 plus 50 divided by 2, you're gonna get it to be 40. So over here, this is 40. 50, 60 divided by 2, 55. 60, 70 divided by 2, 65. This one is 75, and this one over here is 85. Okay? So now what we are gonna do is we're gonna take 40, for example, let's take first of all 15. 15, we're gonna multiply it by its frequency. So 15 times 15 plus 40 times the frequency, which is 30, plus 55 times 50, plus 65 times 40, plus 75 times 10, plus 85 times 15. Okay, all of this, then you will put it over the total frequency. The total frequency is what? It's 15 plus 30 plus 50 plus 40 plus 10 plus 15. Okay, so let me put it on the calculator. It's gonna be 15 times 15 plus 40 times 30 plus 55 times 50 plus 65 times 40 plus 75 times 10 plus 85 times 15. All of it over what? Over 15 plus 30 plus 50 plus 40 plus 10 plus 15. Okay? Please pay attention. You may get any mistakes. Okay? So accurate to 1 decimal place, we don't have any decimal place. We literally have it accurately to be how much? To be 55 points. And that's it for, oh my goodness, question number 26. I'm very tired. Okay. Let's move on to 27. Yalla guys, okay, we have 7 more questions. Hopefully I'll be able to do them without feeling tired. Okay. 100 students measured their weight. The results are shown in the frequency table below. Calculate an estimate of the mean. How do you find the estimate of the mean? Very simply, it's going to be what? You're going to find the mid-interval, first of all. So this is going to be what? 40 plus 50 divided by 2, which is going to be 45. 50 plus 60 divided by 2, 55. 70 plus 60 divided by 2 is 65. And then 80 plus 70 divided by 2, this is 75. Now that you have the mid-intervals, you're going to do 45 mid-interval times frequency plus 55 times 25 plus 65 times 30 plus 75 times 23. All of it over what? The total frequency, which is how much? Which is 100. So let's put it on the calculator. It will then become 45 times 22 plus 55 times 25 plus 65 times 30 plus 75 times 23, all of it over 100, and you will get an answer which is approximately 60.4. So the estimate of the mean is 60.4. They want us to complete the table below. To do this, we need the frequency density. To be able to find the frequency density, you will need to do what? You will need to divide the frequency by the width. The width is very simply dividing the first or bigger digit by the smaller digit. So 50 minus 40, 10. 60 minus 50, 10, and etc. So this is the frequency density. That means it's 22 divided by 10, which is 2.2. 25 divided by 10, 2.5. 30 divided by 10, 3. And then 2.3. So they did 40 to 50 for us, which is 2.2. And then they did for us what? They did for us the 50 to 60, which is 2.5. So it's supposed to be like this. And then the 60 to 70 is 3, so it's supposed to be like this. And then the 70 70 to 80 is a bit smaller, so it's gonna be something like this. So very simply, this is it for question 2. We move on to part B. In part B, they said 100 people are working for a fast food chain. We're asked about their age. The results are shown below. On the grid below, draw a cumulative frequency curve to represent the information. So let us find the cumulative frequency very simply by adding all the numbers together. So this is 40, then 40 plus 20, 60, then 60 plus 22, 82, then 82 plus 18, this is 100. Now for the age, you always take the last age. So at 0, it's going to be 15. But at 25, it's going to be 40. So 25, you're going to choose the point 40. Then at 35, you're going to get 60. And then at 45, you're going to get 82, which is almost here. And then finally, at 55, you're going to get what? You're going to get 100. So it will look something like this. So now it will look something like this. Just if you link it together, it's going to look something like this. Now for parts 2 and 3, I will read them off the paper because I need the graph. I'm not going to draw another graph, okay? I'm going to keep this. They said they want the 30th percentile. To find the 30th percentile, you're going to do 30 over 100 times the total cumulative frequency, which is 100. So you're going to go to 30. You will go to the value 30. You will see it's over here. You will see it is approximately what? It's approximately 15. Okay, so this over here would be 20. If this is 20, then this over here, I would say it is 21, approximately. Based on my graph, the 30th percentile is 21. Now, part 3 says, find the number of people who are older than 25 years. Older than 25 years, what does it mean? That means at 25, you will have a specific cumulative frequency, which is 40. And now you will take the total cumulative frequency, which is 100, subtract it from 40, and you will get how much? You will get that 60 people. So there are 60 people who are older than, so 60 people, they are older or have an age greater than 25 years. So that is it for question number 27. We'll move on to question number 28. 200 students were asked to raise money for a charity. The cumulative frequency curve below represents the results. Okay, guys, let me just check because I'm honestly very tired. Okay, guys, they're all very important. I'm not going to skip anything. I'm going to do them all. So, 28 top. 200 students were asked to raise money for a charity. The cumulative frequency curve below represents the results. Use the graph to find an estimate of the median. We're dealing with question 28, yeah? The median. We know the median is what? The median is going to be 50% of the total frequency. So 50 over 100, forget the percent. 50 over 100 times 200, you're going to get that. It's going to be 100. So you're going to go to 100. You're going to get this point over here. And you will estimate it. It's going to be almost... Oh my goodness, wait, I cannot draw a straight line. Of course, you'll be able to draw the straight line with your ruler. Don't forget to bring your ruler. So this is exactly in between 80 and 90, so we're going to say that it is about 85. So the median value is 85. Then the interquartile range. What is the interquartile range? It is the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. The upper quartile is 75%, so it's going to be 75 over 100 times 200, okay? So 75 over 100 times 200, you're going to get 150. At 150, cannot draw it properly. You will have the point to be what? To be 100. And then the lower quartile, it's 25 over 100 times 200. Okay, 25 times 100, 25 over 100 times 200. It is gonna be 50. So you're gonna go to 50 over here. And you're gonna, oh my goodness. You're gonna get the point to be exactly 70. So the lower quartile is 70. So 100 minus 70, you're gonna get that the interquartile range is how much? It is 30. Now the 80th percentile, it's gonna be what? It's gonna be 80 over 100 times the total cumulative frequency, which is 200. So you do it on your calculator, you're gonna get 160. 160 is approximately this point over here. So it's in between 100 and 110, so you will get that it is 105. So that is it for part I. We move on to part 2. They said use the graph to find an estimate of the number of students who raised more than $50. Who raised more than $50? You're going to come from here. You're going to see that $50, this is the percentage. Not the percentage, the cumulative frequency, which is 30. Okay? We need students who raised more than $50. So who raised more than $50 is definitely going to be above the 30. So 200 minus 30, it's going to be 170. So 170 students raised more than $50. We move on to part B. A student tried to claim, okay, whatever, represent information in histogram. Okay, look, here for this one, they need us to find what? The mean. To find the mean, we just need to find the mid-intervals. The mid-interval, you just need to add the 2 digits and divide it by 2. By doing it, I'm just going to write them over here. Okay, these are the mid-intervals on top. And you have the frequency. To find the mean, it's going to be the mid times the interval. Sorry, the mid times the frequency. So 11 times 2 plus 13 times 11. All of it over the total frequency, which is then 25. So you will put it on your calculator and get an answer of 14.52. So this is the mean. If they want us to represent the information on a histogram, we need, of course, the frequency density. So to find the frequency density, you will just need to do the frequency divided by the width. To find the width, by the way, you just need to subtract the bigger from the smaller. So this is 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. They all have the same width. So they're all going to have like literally just the same width, okay? Just like the same size. So the frequency density is going to be the frequency over the width. So this is 1, this is 5.5, this is 2.5, this is also 2.5, and this is also 1. So if we are to plot it, just assume that I'm plotting it properly. I cannot see. Okay, just take a picture of this graph or write it down. I'm going to give you like a few minutes. Okay, now that you wrote it or you took a picture or whatever, I'm just going to go down to draw it, okay? So for each one, I will do the frequency density. For 12 to 14, it was 5.5, so almost here. Okay, for 14 to 16, it's gonna be 2. Also from 16 to 18. My bad, not 2, 2.5, so it's gonna be like this, okay? And then finally from 18 to 20, it's gonna be what? It is gonna be 1 as well, so it's gonna look something like this. Okay, so we finished question number 28. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. Come on, let's do it. Yeah, okay. Write down the model time interval. The model time interval, first of all, to find it, you need to find what? You need to find the width. If they all have the same width, then you're okay. So here you can see that it's 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. So since they all have the same width, then you are okay. To find the model time interval, meaning the most occurring time interval, you just choose the one with the highest frequency, which is the one with the frequency 40. So the model time interval is 34 T 36. Okay? Now, the interval containing the median time, how do we find it? You're going to add all of these together, and don't forget to put the plus 1 at the end always. It's going to be 15 plus 20 plus 40 plus 15 plus 10. 100 plus 1, 101 divided by 2. You're going to get 50.5. Now you need to find the cumulative frequencies. So you add them all together, and you're going to get what you're going to get. 15, 35, 75, 90, and 100, okay? Now, which of these cumulative frequencies contains the 50.5, or which one is big enough to contain the 50.5? It's gonna be the one that has 75 in it. Okay, so that means the medium or the median time, it is gonna be what? It's gonna be between 34 and 36. Now, an estimate of the mean, here you will need to find what? You will need to find the mid-intervals. To find the mid-intervals, you just need to add them and divide by 2. I will just write it over here. So 31, 33, 35. Okay, and then you multiply each one by its frequency and divide it by the total frequency, which is 100. And you will get an answer of what? An answer of 34.7. We'll move on to part B. They said to continue the cumulative frequency. So 0, 15, 35, 75, 90, and 100. You continue it from above. Okay? Now, here you will use the information from the answers above. By using the information from the answers above, I think this is a wrong scale. So let's just do 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, خلاص, we fixed it. This is the new scale, okay? So at time 30, it was 0. At 32, it was, so 32 is over here. At 32, it was 15. And 15, let us take it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each one is 5. So 5, 10, 15. 15, we'll take it over here. So over here. And then, so my bad. 32 is gonna be 1, 5, 10, 15. So over here. So it's gonna be 30 is 0, 32 is 15, 34 is 35, 30, 35, so over here. Okay. 36 is 75, so 36 is over here. It's gonna be 75. 38 is 90, so 38 over here is gonna be 90, which is over here. And then finally 40 is 100. So if you connect the graph, it's gonna look something like this. They want you to find the median time. The median time is gonna be 50 over 100 times the cumulative frequency, which is 100. So it's gonna be 50. So you're gonna go to 50. You'll take it, it is approximately what? It is approximately on the 34 mark. So the median time is 34 time. Interquartile range is upper quartile minus lower quartile. So it's going to be 75 over 100 times the total, which is 100, minus 25 over 100 times the total, which is 100. So 75 over here. You will see that the point is almost 36. 25 over here, you will see the point is what? The point is 32. So it's going to be 36 minus 32, in my opinion. So 36 minus 32, which is almost 4. And then finally, find the number of students who took more than 37 minutes to complete the quiz. More than 37 minutes. Let's say 36 is here. 37 is going to be over here. So they said they need the students who took more than 37 minutes. So these students over here. So I would say this is like 77%. Okay. So this is 77 from here. How many took longer than 37 minutes? So you need this value over here. So it's going to be 100 minus 77. And you will get an answer which is 23. This is based on my graph. Of course, if you get something different, just base it off of your graph, okay? I think 30, I won't do it. It's the same as the one before. But 31. Also 31 is honestly the same. I'm very tired. I'm so sorry. So 30, 31, they're very easy. I'll just leave it for you to do. Okay, same with 32. So 30, 31, and 32, I will leave it for you to do because they're very simple. I think I will do 33. So they said, what type of correlation is shown in the scatter diagram? As you can see, this is a strong negative correlation. Draw the line of best fit on the diagram. Just draw it like this, okay? Part 3, find a good estimate for the grade point average of a student who missed 40 lessons. Student who missed 40 lessons, their GPA is about here. I think I did something wrong, hold on. Let's do it like this. So their GPA will be about here, which is almost to midway. So you will see it is approximately 10. Their GPA is gonna be approximately 10 if they missed 40 lessons. We move on to part B. A teacher recorded the number of her 20 students who got grades between A and D on a math test. The frequency table shows below. Okay, calculate the mode and the median. Definitely the mode is the thing with the higher frequency, which in this case is 7. So the B is the model grade. And then the median is going to be 50% of the cumulative frequency. So the frequency, let us just add them together. It's going to be here 5, 5 plus 7, 12, 12 plus 6, 18, 18 plus 2 is 20. Okay, so now that we have the cumulative frequency, we need to find the median. So we're going to do 20 times what? Times 50%. So it's going to be 10. Okay? Or no, another way you could do it is you could add them all together. Just add them all together. So 5 plus 7 plus 6 plus 2, you're going to get 20. 20 plus 1 divided by 2, you're going to get 10.5. So now you need to find the one that has 10.5 or that can hold 10.5. Definitely not 5, but then 12 works. So definitely the mode and the median are the same. They are B. C, the table below shows the average of all grade 8 students on a science test. Draw a histogram to show the information in the table. Okay, I'm not gonna do part 2. Part 2 you guys can do it by yourself. But I will do part 1. Okay, to find the mean of the score, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the frequency and you're gonna multiply it by the mid-interval. Over here, this is gonna be 15. So it's 0 plus 30 divided by 2, which is 15. Then 50 plus 30 divided by 2, 40. Here 55, 65, 75, and 85. So 15 times 15 plus 40 times 30 plus 55 times 50 plus 65 times 40 plus 75 times 10 plus 85 times 15 over the total, which is gonna be 15 plus 40 over the total frequency, which is 15 plus 30 plus 50 plus 40 plus 10 plus 15. Okay, put it on your calculator. I'm gonna put it 15. So you put it on your calculator and you will get that the average is how much? Not the average, it's the mean. It is gonna be 55. So thank God we finished. That's it for algebra. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day.